How many puppies can a Doberman have? Complexities of procreation. Have you ever considered breeding your Doberman? We do not advocate dog breeding for the numerous reasons you can find peppered throughout the internet. However, it can be a meaningful adventure if you use the proper channels to acquire research data and advice. Even if you decide breeding is not for you, questions might still arise like, how many puppies can a Doberman have? The Doberman record for the largest litter of puppies is 18. However, Dobermans more often have 6 to 8 pups in a litter. Dobermans typically have minimal issues with live births unless the litter is large or small or one or more puppies are dead. Most of the time, a mother in excellent health and appropriate age carries her pups to term with no problems. What is a Doberman's cycle? A Doberman's heat cycle is typical of a domesticated dog. Unlike dogs that mimic wild canines who cycle only once a year, Dobermans usually go into heat every 6 months. Small breeds can cycle 3 or 4 times a year. Being in heat or estrus describes the limited time when your female Doberman prepares and becomes receptive to a male. While some dogs accept mating anytime during estrus, most dogs are receptive only during their most fertile days. A heat cycle lasts about 3 weeks. Dobermans usually show the following signs, but some individuals are more subtle than others. Swollen vulva. Discharge from vulva that changes in consistency and color throughout the cycle. Protective gestures in the early stages, steading frequently and tucking the tail. Receptive signs increase in the second week. Tail moves to the side. Behavioral changes. May become either more affectionate or more irritable. Appetite may decrease. Tendency to wander or restlessness may increase. Mounts objects may be accompanied by humping. Note that many dogs hump and are not in heat. Dobermans can come into their first heat at 6 months, but it is much more common to experience their initial cycle between 9 months and a year old. Many experts recommend that you not breed your dog during her first estrus. On the other side of the coin, spaying your dog before her first heat can prevent serious concerns such as mammary cancer. Stages of heat. There are 2 ways to analyze a Doberman's heat cycle. The first is a general breakdown, while the second attempts to determine the time of breeding that will most likely produce puppies. General stages of estrus, prostrus. When the heat cycle first begins, the female is usually not receptive to breeding, but has vulvar swelling and bleeding. It lasts 7 to 10 days. Estrus. Mating receptivity at its peak usually starts on day 9 of the heat cycle. Destress, stage of pregnancy or period when your dog comes out of the heat, 10 to 140 days. Anestrus, down period either after the birth of puppies or between heat cycles, lasts approximately 180 days. Specific stages of a heat cycle. Prostrus and estrus comprise what you think of as the heat cycle in a dog. As mentioned together, they last about 21 days. Determining when to expose her to the male is paramount if you want to breed your Doberman. To enhance your dog's chances of pregnancy, you should breed her shortly before or during ovulation. Ovulation, or the release of eggs from the ovaries, is very difficult to predict. It can occur on the 3rd or 19th day of heat. There are 2 scientific ways to establish the occurrence of ovulation. Vaginal smears are familiar because they are so easy. Your veterinarian will look at a smear's cells, a vaginal cytology, under the microscope over several days. The cells take on specific characterizations during ovulation. Leukocytes, white blood cells, disappear. Over 50 to 90% of cells present have no nucleus center. Cells are irregular in shape. Blood tests measuring hormones are more accurate for determining ovulation in dogs. Hormonal assays are performed over several days. Progesterone serum levels. First sample day 3 to 5 of estrus. Repeat samples every 2 or 3 days because progesterone levels double every 2 days. Progesterone levels 1.0 before LH surge. Progesterone level 2 to 3 a day after LH surge. Breed 3 days after progesterone levels reach 2.5 Fresh cooled AF 4 days after 2.5 or 48 hours after 5 Frozen AF 5 days after 2.5 or 72 hours after 5 Note that is a nanogram per milliliter. It takes 1 billion nanograms to make 1 gram. Visualizing such a small amount is not essential, as tiny measurements are characteristic of hormones. What is relevant is tracking the relative increases and decreases in sizes over the heat cycle. Luteinizing hormone. Some veterinarians measure LH directly to catch its spike. However, an LH surge lasts 12 to 24 hours, meaning it is easy to miss. Ovulation occurs 3 or 4 days after the LH spike. Many vets will utilize the results of both LH and progesterone serum levels to make breeding recommendations for their clients. Others combine vaginal smears and progesterone hormone levels in their analyses. What should you know about your Doberman's pregnancy? If you want to know more, click the link below or visit anythingrottweiler.com.